This is a simple productivity hack to get better at baseball. And this is quite literally a hack that can make you just a better baseball player in general. And it's something that anyone can do, and it can have a huge impact on your game. If you're new here, my name is Evan Mendoza. I have 7 years of pro baseball experience between the Cardinals and Padres. I also played D1 baseball for 3 years at NC State University, and I also studied engineering there. I was on varsity all 4 years of my high school baseball career, so I'm here to share all that knowledge with you, and I'm quite literally that baseball guy who talks mentality development and even recruiting. I founded my own online academy, Mendoza Baseball Academy, where I help high school baseball players bridge the gap into college, all right? So now, if you're a high school baseball player who's currently on varsity, I'm gonna have some instructions for you at the end of this video. But if you're not, if you're a parent or player who's not currently in high school, just keep supporting all my channels, including listening to my podcast, The Angle. So now, let's get into it. So this is the power of time blocking. It is the ultimate, the epiphany of planning, right? And ideally, we want to be able to plan our days to the best of our ability. And the hack I'm talking to you about is literally time blocking. It's just making sure that every single second of our day is being used as efficiently as possible. And it's all about scheduling specific times for different tasks, because we never want to be running from one task to another, because we're never going to truly be in the moment, all right? So it helps you stay focused and makes the most of your practice time, truly. So why time blocking truly works? So time blocking works because it creates structure in your day. And obviously structure is one of the 3 core pillars as far as what I like to teach inside my academy, because the more structure we have, then we almost turn into a robot. I know it sounds weird, but we want to turn into a machine, ultimately doing the work that we set out for ourselves when we had the idea to actually become a better person. So it really just takes the guesswork out. It ensures that you're dedicating time to what really matters, all right? When you know exactly what you're working on and when, you become more productive and you understand, honestly, how long certain tasks even take, all right? So setting up your time blocks, start by making a list of everything that you need to actually truly work on throughout the day. And this could be also included in the baseball world of just like hitting, fielding, strength training, or even mental preparation. And then assign specific time blocks for each activity. So obviously it could be an hour, it could be 30 minutes, it could be even 10 minutes, guys. It doesn't have to be super crazy, but the consistency is what plays the factor. But this could also include team practices. So example of time block schedules from my time at NC State, and this is probably why you guys are even here watching this video, is because you want to understand what it looks like to be a D1 baseball player and understanding the time commitment and how, we have to be able to be aware of how to use our time and manage it. So let's get into it. So this is what happened, not every single day, but I would say a good majority of days that I was at NC State. And ultimately, when I wasn't even a starter, this is the schedule that I was on to become a starter. So obviously, I put in a lot of sweat, effort, time, energy, whatever, to become a starter at the D1 level. So from 6 a.m. to 6:45, we would have early morning conditioning. At 6:45 to like 7:45, instead of going back to my apartment complex, I was like, you know what? I'm already on campus. I lived away from campus, so I lived like 15 minutes away from campus. No need to drive 15 minutes just to literally like lay in bed for 10 minutes and then have to drive right back onto campus. So I told myself, let's be productive with our time. And I went ahead and hit in the cages alone. We had an automatic machine, so it was perfect. From like 7:45 to 8:30-ish, I would eat breakfast and also walk to class. I think the majority of the times I would have like an 8:30 a.m., which I did not love by any means, but I was just kind of waking up. If I didn't have that early morning conditioning, but if we did have that early morning conditioning, my 8:30 class, I was bright and ready to go. All right, so from 8:30 until like 1:30, and every university is different, but we usually have a set practice time where we have academic advisors where we basically try to schedule our classes around our team practices. The rule of thumb was try not to schedule anything past 2 o'clock. We want to be able to end classes theoretically at like maybe 1 o'clock. That way we have a breeze of like an hour and a half to walk to the stadium, walk to the locker room, get undressed, eat some food, change our clothes, whatever we have to do for practice. So really from 1:30 to 2, lunch, maybe walk over to the stadium. And then from 2 to 2:30, we would have a thing called optional skill work. This optional skill work would be position specific. So if you were a middle infielder, you would work on double plays. If you were a first baseman, you would work on picks. So, you're going to be specifically working on a specific position. All right, from 2:30 to like 5:30, I would say, is when we would have team practice. So this would include everything: rundowns, cutoffs and relays, bunt defense, BP, team fundamentals, team ground balls, like everything that you can imagine, stretch, throwing program, bullpens, like everything, cage work. And then on select days from like 5:30 to 6, we would have like a quick break after practice was done. And obviously, leading up to the season, I remember there would be days where we would practice from like 2 until like 7 o'clock at night because we were preparing for the season. We would have like 13 inning long scrimmages, so it was definitely time consuming. And then I'll never forget, like leading up to the season, definitely put in the most effort. We would transition real quick and then drive over to the gym to get a team lift in, usually around like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and this was only 3 days a week. But you have to imagine if we have a 13 inning scrimmage and then immediately after we have a team lift, sometimes we're getting done with that lift at like 8 o'clock at night, so 8, 9 o'clock sometimes. Usually right after, we are starving. I mean, we're growing kids out there in college, and we can't wait to go to the athlete dining hall and just absolutely feast on whatever is given to us. For those that don't know, usually at Power 5 schools, athletes do have a specific dining hall where we get a little bit better quality food. From 8 p.m. until 11 p.m., this is where I truly just tried to study and rest and catch up and prepare and making sure that I was managing my time for, of course, the next day. So notice the breaks between each section, right? Or each session. There's not many sessions, right? So everything is blocked with a specific focus, and we're not jumbling up too many things, right? And if you have big dreams, of course, if you're trying to play pro ball or D1 college baseball, guys, go ahead and head over to MendozABaseballAcademy.com to see if I can actually help you on your baseball journey and also to see if you qualify. But sticking to your schedule, guys, this is the key to making time blocking work. It's the consistency that I mentioned earlier in this video. So if you stick to your schedule as closely as possible and you're quite literally that machine behind your calendar, that's going to be something that you're going to be putting yourself in a great position to not only grow in whatever you're trying to do, but you're going to be able to succeed and you're going to see those, strides that you're making. If something comes up, try to adjust your blocks, but don't skip them. Just try to play like Tetris almost. You're going to be moving over those blocks whenever you need to. So here are some benefits of time blocking. So time blocking helps you stay organized, obviously, which is super helpful. It prevents you from feeling overwhelmed by everything you need to have to do, right? And I studied aerospace engineering in college. It was not easy to balance both. So I obviously had to use this time blocking technique. I also had to manage my time very efficiently to be able to do that. It also ensures you're giving enough time to each aspect of your training, right? So obviously there's the bigger time blocks of like a team practice, but our coaching staff at NC State did a really good job of time blocking our team practice to make sure that we were doing everything necessary to be able to actually develop into a great baseball player. So now tracking your progress. So keep track of what you accomplished during each time block. This is going to help you see the progress and identify areas where you can definitely improve. It's also going to motivate you to see how much you're actually getting done. All right, so adapting your time block. So as you get better at time blocking, you need to start to adjust your schedule. So maybe you need a little bit more time for hitting and a little bit less time for studying, just joking. But being flexible and adapting your time blocks to fit your needs, because everything's going to be changing throughout the course of the season. So time blocking is a simple yet powerful productivity hack, and it helps you stay focused, organized, and productive. Give it a try and see how it can improve your game. And this is just like a tip of the iceberg of what I actually teach my students inside my academy. So if you're a varsity high school baseball player aiming for a D1 scholarship here in the near future, let's say you're a rising junior or a rising senior, you're still uncommitted and you don't know why, right? So let me help you prepare you by getting you on this path. So inside my program, I only work with those rising juniors and seniors who are on varsity, and they're dedicated, driven, and have the desire to play in college. So if you're already playing varsity baseball, you have what it takes, and you work out a ton, you're already investing in yourself, but you feel stuck in your development. Maybe you lack a great coach in your area with experience like me, or maybe you just need guidance in the recruiting process and you don't want to have to pay a recruiting service out there. I'm not going to name any names, but you know who I'm talking about. And to land that D3 scholarship, right? Those recruiting services, you got to be careful, guys. So, or simply you just need that program you can trust. So if that sounds like you, I'd love to go over where you're currently at in your high school baseball journey and ultimately how I can help you out. My triple play of physical development, mental development, and even the recruiting guidance will have you on your path to a D1 scholarship. So if you're interested in working one-on-one with me inside my academy, head over to MendozABaseballAcademy.com to apply. If you're watching this on YouTube, just go ahead, guys, down in the description, you'll find a couple of resources. My main video, if you guys are trying to play college baseball, you'll be able to see that one right down below. But then also, you'll see a couple links to be able to apply to work together. So if you're listening to this on a podcast, just go to MendozABaseballAcademy.com to apply. And guys, reminder, if you're not currently in high school yet, just keep watching my content, keep supporting all my channels. But if you are that serious high school baseball player looking to play in college, make sure to apply so I can get a better idea of how I can help you.